How do I begin? How do I refer to you? How would you prefer that I refer to you? As within the scope of your expertise.
Well, I'm a mechanic by profession, so I mean something to do about cars. I'm very sure.
Okay.
I can tell you more.
I like that. That. How long have you been in that space?
Well, 40 plus. 40 plus. 40 plus, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So from carburetor time.
Charlie.
That's great.
Yeah.
What led you there? How is it? A love of cars, love of engineering? What? Because I don't think I know anybody who's been in that space dedicated to your level.
That number of years.
Yeah.
Well, it's a long story. What actually happened is I lost my daddy.
Okay.
When I was, I think, 3 years old. My mother got married to a man who is a mechanic by profession.
Okay.
So after school, I have to walk into the garage.
The big shoes.
Yeah. So that's actually how I started my auto mechanics.
Wow. Then you definitely have a wealth of knowledge that we are going to tap into today. Welcome once again. Now, jumping straight into it. Now we have modern cars. We have the most advanced kind of cars in the world, blah, blah, blah. Well, like I'm saying, from carburetor time to today, some things have been canon, rules that you definitely have to adhere to. And I'm going to start off by asking you some of the practices that no matter what you drive, before you move that car out of your compound, the do's and the don'ts. What checks should you run? What should you keep in mind? And how should you go about it? As opposed to us modern who just jump inside, vroom, and then before you know, we are doing 150 on the highway. What are those practices before you touch the car?
Well, I think before you get into your car, you should open the bonnet and look at the oil if the gauge is up to water, and then look around if there's any kind of something that you it's not everybody who knows about cars, so basically you open your bonnet and check water, oil. Those are the areas first you should look at. But mechanical wise, I mean, since something hasn't happened and you have to just open and check these two things, it's good enough for you to set off.
Does someone need to know certain things about a car before you use them, or just these basic things?
Oh, I think not necessary. You just have to know how the car functions. And then I think before you buy a car, you should know, you should be able to read a little bit more, because technology is fast advanced, and nowadays what we know, like he said previous, I mean, it's not like before, you get it. So you have to look into few other things before you set off. I mean, at least these two things, or your water, your oil, these
every
two things.
Morning.
Yeah, not every morning.
Okay.
At least knowing your car, unless of course you go in for a used car. But if it's a new car, I mean, you don't expect your water, your oil to just get out from the car. But it's very good to, I mean,
create a routine or something.
Check, exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
I like the mention of whether it's a brand new car or a used car. If you're going to purchase a car for the very first time, what do you need to know before you consider what kind of car you're buying?
I think you should read a little bit more about the car you are investing your money into. You get it? Then you'll be able to know the don'ts, the like of the car. You get it? Because it's not every car that you can just get up and just start and then just go. If it's a modern car, fine. You still have to, because currently cars are very expensive. You get it? So you don't just go and sit in your car. At least open the bonnet and just check these two things, the oil, the water. And then also when you are driving the car, once you see water sign, which is very, very, I think it's something which we all have to consider. Once you get overheating, it becomes a very big problem. So not necessarily the oil That's also another problem. But I mean, first in water before you go to the oil.
Okay.
You get it.
I know we've jumped into what you do, what you need to check before you spark your car in the morning and all of that. But my question is centered on I'm going to buy a car for the very first time. I have no knowledge about cars and all of that. I know it's a car, it will move and all that. What are maybe some 5 pointers I need to, be aware of, even in the layman's, point of view? So
Okay.
before I consider buying a car.
Okay. Well, first of all, I would say anytime anybody wants to buy a car, it should visit a recommended workshop,
Okay.
a good mechanic shop that somebody could probably recommend. Like, let's say you come to my shop. First of all, before people have actually recommended me to come to look into their cars for them because they know what I'm capable of doing.
All right.
Now, first of all, when you bring your car in for me to check, no water, oil, but I would be looking out for if the vehicle is actually an accident vehicle. I'll open the bonnet and look into those areas, and then some of the issues relating to faulty parts or faulty issues on the car. We have this diagnostic machine that we put on the car, which is able to read the faults on cars, but it doesn't actually solve them.
On all type of cars?
In all cars. For me, I have various diagnostic machines, which, if I should mention, I can get about 10 or even more.
So it's like taking the car to the hospital.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what actually happens is, once you see points, you're able to identify a few things that are problem that can be solved. You advise the buyer that, this you happen to see, so you can solve it, and probably to cost you this. Or some point you say, no, this car, it doesn't worth the money the person is asking for.
Okay.
You get it?
Is it possible to find fault in a brand new tier rubber car?
No, really.
No,
It
really.
doesn't happen.
Okay.
Unless, of course, it's a flat vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned oil, checking the oil and the water before the car is moved. So I want to know if you can use any type of oil for any vehicle.
No. Every car and the type of vehicle, every
Oil rating.
vehicle and type of oil you are supposed to use.
All right.
Yeah. You can't use a diesel oil for a petrol engine. It's not done. Yeah.
Okay.
You'll be end up damaging the engine.
You used the term, you said, unless the car is a flagged.
As like, yes, I mean, we are in Ghana. People can do a lot of things. I mean, he won't tell you unless you come to a shop, a well-established vehicle shop before some of these things you'll be able to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
We hear the phrase service your car, service your car, service your car. Everybody says it.
Yeah.
What goes into servicing? Is it a fixed set of activities, or because somebody will say servicing this month my servicing has been expensive. Some say servicing is not expensive. Somebody will say servicing and shocks is part. Some say servicing and it's just oil. So what is servicing? What is it, a range of things, or is just a general term that is used?
Well, when people say they are coming to do their car service, which is maintenance work, first of all, you have to find out what the person really wants because of the cost, right? Now, I believe if everybody should be doing a routine check or servicing, there wouldn't be a problem where you have to pay so much money to repair your car. Changing your oil is not too expensive, but depending on the type of car you are driving will determine how much money you should spend. You get it?
Type of oil, quantities, and all that.
If you are using a new car, you have to use, let's say, 0W20.
Is that synthetic?
Yes, you get it. If you are driving an old car, which is, let's say, a 10 years old car, you are looking about using either 10W40 or 5W40. You get it. So it varies. It depends on what car you are driving. Now, just like you spell out the servicing, when you do a vehicle service for, let's say, you happen to do the service today. Now, depending on how long you drive the car, not necessarily driving the car for a certain kilometers. I don't know if you are getting me right here. What I'm trying to say is you come today for a car service and then you service the car just today. Now, if you don't drive the car within a week or you happen to travel, now the engine oil, mind you, the engine oil is a chemical. Some of the cars calculate days. Let's say a Mercedes-Benz, for instance, it will tell you
5,000.
Yes, you understand. Usually we say 7,500 kilometers. You understand. But when you leave the car and you come back, I mean, consider it as a, what do you call it? A chemical. Once you open it, I mean, it has a spark. Yes, so that you don't encounter problem, especially on the engine. You get it.
So for the oil, it's not always about how long you use it.
Yes.
But the fact that you've changed it, the lifespan has started counting.
Exactly.
So even if you travel or you don't drive it every day.
Exactly. For the safety of your car or your
the
engine.
oil is going bad. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like leaving food and saying because I've not eaten it after a week it's still good.
Yeah. For someone who maybe we don't know anything about cars, right? And I get a car and I decide that I've serviced it this year or like let's say last year, and I'm not really someone who services my car. What are some of the challenges or problems I should be looking forward to using that vehicle?
Well, if you don't service your car regularly, you'll be experiencing few problems, like let's say you start the car. People don't actually pay attention to their engines. Okay, but if you are that type, I mean, there are people who also are very careful as to when they start their car, as to what they hear and all.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't service your car regularly, what will happen is your engine life would shorten.
Okay.
Unlike somebody who does his car regular service, I mean, he's always good to go. You get it. But somebody who doesn't service his car, that person always have problem with his car because once he starts the car, he feels he started the car. Now, he doesn't hear anything. He starts the car, he just drive and he's gone. You understand? Unlike somebody who starts and then listens or he's very, very, very much careful with his car. Such person, his car engine or his car life will be more. I've got some friends who has a car with A or I would say Y. Their cars are still solid. I mean, I tell people we don't use car number to buy car.
Yeah.
You understand? Because such a that person maintains his car well. You get it? So these are few.
So it works on the lifespan of the car.
Yes, exactly.
Mr. Oku,
Yes, please.
I want to know about your workshop, where your workshop is, and if in case we need to visit you, what more details we can have about your place, because it sounds like it's the place to be.
Well, it's within Osu, behind Papaya. The name of the shop is New Vision Auto Service. We actually do basically all cars. I'm actually trained on German vehicles, but currently we are able to do, I mean, with the help of the diagnostic machine, you are able to identify problems which with my past experience, I'll be able to look into all matters of every vehicle. You get it? Okay. Yeah.
New Vision. We'll definitely be picking up a look and maybe come visit you one day and then pick up other conversations. We'll definitely have you back. And the next time we have you back, the conversation I want to start will be with fuel. Good fuel, bad fuel, super, premium, all these conversations and how it affects our engine. But today we're wrapping up because time has beat us a little bit, but it's been good knowing that we need to pay more attention to our cars, especially the oil conversation. The fact that you have changed oil doesn't mean go and lock the car and wait.
No.
It is diminishing, and that could affect you. So we've had Mr. Wuku here from New Vision AutoWorks. He definitely an expert on the subject, loved everything, apart from Amy and AC's gossip in the beginning. It's been very, very educative here this morning on a big convoy, and we are wrapping up